Hello, you're most welcome to Care Safaris Uganda. We are going to tour you the Uganda National Museum under the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities. So you're going to know more about the Uganda Museum, how it started, in which year. So just watch the video, subscribe, and don't forget to tap in the bell. You're most welcome to the Uganda Museum. I'm going to tour you around the Uganda Museum, and it's under Care Safaris Uganda. This is the gun which was used during the Second World War, which began in 1939 and ended in 1945. The Ugandans also participated in the Second World War as drivers and cooks. So the European side decided to donate it to the Uganda Museum, since the Ugandans also participated in the Second World War. So let's go inside. This is the Uganda Museum in pictures. This is the reception. A brief background about this museum. This museum is the oldest museum in East Africa, and this museum so a brief background about this museum. This museum is the oldest museum in East Africa. It was established in 1908, which means it is 116 years now. How it came to be established, The protectorate government cooperated with the local people in 1908, and they started collecting the objects which made the first museum. And the first museum was first placed at Fort Lugard, adjacent to the Gaddafi's mosque. Then in 1941, the lady known as Margaret visited Uganda and is the one who introduced the first subject. The subject known as art decided to brought a suggestion that the museum could be shifted from Fort Lugard to Makerere at Gallery Center, what they did in 1942. Then 1953, the plan of constructing this building started, but it was officially opened on 8th October 1962. So this side is about, we are going to begin from the Stone Age of Uganda. This is called Nsongezi Rock Shelter, where Aleman first settled in Uganda. This place is found in Mbarara district. They are showing you activities carried out by Aleman: hunting, iron smelting, and they lived under the caves. Those who settled around Kagera River, they carried out fishing. So this place is still there in Mbarara district. Then we are going to see the first knife used by Aleman. This is the first knife used by Aleman, and this knife is made from wood. Then this is the first arrow made by Aleman, which is also made from wood. These are fish shells, which also acted as knife by Aleman. Then this is here Aleman. We are seeing Aleman making fire from wood, rubbing two woods. The first technique used to make fire. Then they are showing us here Aleman is hunting. He was a hunter. Some of the activities he did, he was hunting, iron smelting, and many activities. So when the Stone Age began, this was the first hand axe. This is the first hand axe. Here in Uganda, especially here in Uganda, we call it embazi. It is used for chopping firewood. Here we are seeing Aleman having the first hand axe and trying to hunt. Then when we move to the beginning of technology, technology began from Ethiopia about 0.2 million years ago. Then in Uganda, 1.5 million years ago. Then we developed from Iron Age to from Stone Age to Iron Age. You can see the first hand axe. Then from that hand axe, we went to this axe. Then from that axe, we developed to this one. This is the current axe, the one we use currently. Then this is the first hammer. Then from this hammer to this hammer, now currently we are using this one in the middle. Here we are seeing the second technique used by Aleman to make fire, rubbing two stones to make fire. Here they are showing us Aleman making the knife from rock. Then here there is human life and environment about 1 million years ago. And for us, we believe this is the Garden of Eden where Aleman settled. And this, the reason why it is called the Garden of Eden, this is where Aleman first settled. You can wonder why Aleman settled around near the mountainous areas. The reason is to get the place for shelter, and some of other reason why it's settled near water bodies, to get water for drinking and even uh, for other activities. Early man, uh, he lived naked. You can see he, were, he had a yellow body, and you can see Eve there is picking a fruit. Then they lived under the caves. You can call it the, he lived under the tree. Yeah, we are in the museum. Then when we come here, this is the first ice axe, which was used by the first Italian to climb up to the top of Mountain Renzori. Mountain Renzori is the highest mountain in Uganda with 5,000 meters no cape. And this ice axe was introduced by the first Italian 1906 to climb up to the top of Mountain Renzori. Uh, uh, this is called a cart, which acted as the first car in Uganda. It was introduced by the British, and this used to transport only the royal people, the kings and queens. But then here we have the first boat to be introduced in Uganda. This boat is unique. This boat was made without any nail. They didn't use any nail. It was made by the Arabs, and it was used on Sase Island on the shores of Lake Victoria. It is very old. Then here we have the first 4D car team model to be introduced in Uganda. This boat, this car was made by Henry Ford in 1929, and it was brought in Uganda after Uganda getting the first governor of Uganda, known as Sir Hexis Bell, in 1907. This car is the real car. It is real car. This is the original engine of this car. Spark plug, radiator, all the original tools or equipments, they are here. It was a real car. This is the steering. You can see it. Then when you move from there, we have here the first telecommunication network, which was introduced in Uganda in 1952. You can call it the first phone in Uganda. Then here we have the what you call the generation of hydroelectric power. This place, it is found on the eastern Uganda in Jinja, where we find the source of River Nile. This place generates hydroelectric power, and this place is found in eastern Uganda. That is Jinja. It's where we find the source of River Nile, and that thing generates 255 megawatts. There is a dam on the source of River Nile known as Bujagali Dam. That Bujagali Dam generates a lot of electricity. It generates 255 megawatts, one dam, which means that Uganda has a lot of electricity. So we sell it to our neighboring country, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, and other countries. Vigo vya Mugenyi. Vigo vya Mugenyi are the headquarters for the Bachwez. The Bachwez are the first group of people to settle in Uganda. They settled in the place known as Maugola County, that is Zimbabwe district. These people, when they settled in the place, they used to dump wastes. Unfortunately, those wastes made a hill, as you can see there. So during excavation made by the archaeologists in 1959, they discovered many tools or items or remains being used by the Bachwez. For example, here we have the horn, which proves that the Bachwez are the one who started the pastoralism in Uganda. Then there is banana plantation, which shows that the Bachwez are the one who started the agriculture in Uganda. And even these are the tools. The first knife, number two. Number two is the first knife for the Bachwez. Actually, these are the pottery containers. Those people, when they used to do trenches around their land for protection, and those people, they settled in the place known as Maugula County, that is Zimbabwe district, that is western Uganda. So here we have the Luzila head. Uh, Luzila is among the oldest prison in Uganda. So during the construction of the Luzila prison, we discovered this head, and this the Luzila prison is near the highland. So during the construction of the Luzila prison in 1929, they discovered this head, and it is a belief that this head deposited by the waves from the bridge, and the original one was taken back to the British Museum. We remain with that one. Here is about archaeologists and fossil sites. It's about archaeological remains, and uh, archaeological sites. In Uganda, we have actively three archaeological sites. We have Napaka, Mountain Elgon, and Moroto. They are found in eastern Uganda. So these are the remains, and we are going to see more remains which are being discovered from there. You can call it the stretcher, which acted as the first lock ambulance. This is the first lock ambulance which used uh, to help the sick people. It was carried by 4 people, and they used to carry them, taking them to the traditional healers. Here we have the map of Uganda in 1840s. In 1840, Uganda was very big. By the regime of the British, in 1840, Uganda was being controlled by the British, or was colonized by the British. So Uganda was very large, and it became difficult for these people to control it. So they organized what you call scrum and partition. Scrum and partition means divide and add. Some parts were taken off from Uganda, and Uganda also got some parts. D was gifted to Kenya, H to South Sudan, A and E to DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. Then Uganda got Part C, F, and a G. So since 1926, this is the map of Uganda, the highlighted one. Yeah, I told you we are in Uganda Museum, exploring the history of Uganda. Then here we have remains of a certain guy known as Chivuka. Chivuka was from Buganda, central Uganda, and Chivuka was called Chivuka Omumbale, the guy who used to fight and expanded the kingdom of Uganda. They used to think that Chivuka was a god of war because of the way he used to fight, the tactics he used. And that guy is the one who fought and expanded the kingdom of Uganda, where you can hear that Uganda stole some parts of Nyoro. And here, but this guy was just wise. He could not even fly. Before they used to think that Chibuka could fly, but this guy was just wise. He could just go at the top of the tree and hide there at the top and start throwing spears without being seen. People could see spears coming without seeing the person who's throwing the spear. So they named him the god of war. But when they knew that this guy could not fly, they targeted him. He was in the western Uganda on the tree up and was stabbed and died, or speared and died. So the museum collected some of his parts. Where you see number one is Chibuka's lower jaw, covered with the cow shells, the real jaw. Then inside here, there is his private parts. All the private parts are in this basket. Then this is the leopard skin he used to put on, has his clothes. Then this is animal skin, which acted as his bag. Then inside here, there is his umbilical cord. There is his umbilical cord inside there. Then these are some of the spears and the shield he used in the war. Then here we have the beginning of Uganda. Before the European came, the first Europeans came in Uganda. Uganda was called Uganda, but the first European they failed to pronounce the word Uganda. They called it Uganda. That's when the name Uganda began. Then there was a guy known as Semei Kakungulu. Semei Kakungulu acted as a collaborator to the colonialists and was gifted this gun. This is the first gun to be introduced in Uganda and was gifted to Semei Kakungulu, who was a collaborator with the Arabs. When the Arabs came, they started what you call long distance trade. They brought cow shells. These are called cow shells. These cow shells acted as our currencies or our money by then, but nowadays are devaluated, used for decoration. As you saw, they used to decorate Chibuka's parts. Then those people, when they came, they brought what we call the miller. The ladies know the miller very well. In the process of bringing the miller, they started what we call long distance trade. And they left the Ugandans with the miller, seeing themselves in the miller, and for them they used that chance to, to root expensive items. For example, this is ivory they took from Karamoja. Then this is tortoise shells. This is salt. These are the ambangos where they used to tie on the slaves. Energetic boys taking them into slavery. Then those people They also brought clothes which replaced the backcloth. This is, the ladies used to put on like that. They used to put on backcloth. Then when they brought clothes, they started putting on clothes. First, at first it was called Lubugo, then later Busuka, then Tobusoti. Then the Indian guy came, was known as Gomez. Then he redesigned that dress to Gomez, and the dress was named after that guy who redesigned it to Gomez. Now it is a traditional wear in Uganda, central Uganda. Then this is the Kampala in 1860. This road is known as Kabaka Njagala Road, the road which connects the palace of Uganda to Mengo. Then here we have the first printing press, or you can call it the first printing machine, which was introduced by Alexander Mackay in 1876. And these are the books it printed. Those from Uganda, this was the first hospital known as Mengo Hospital in 1950s. When the European came, they reconstructed it. Then this is Kasubi Tomb in 1962 after Uganda getting independence. These are the first Ugandans to study abroad. Then here we have the letter. This letter was wrote by King Mutesa I, who was the king of Uganda. I told you Uganda is found in the central Uganda. He wrote this letter by the help of H.M. Stanley. This letter was mainly direct to the Queen Victoria and was inviting the teachers of the law to come and teach the people of Uganda how to read and write. So the people came, known as missionaries, and they started teaching the people of Uganda how to read and write. And this guy here is called Ham Mukasa, the statue of Ham Mukasa, who was the first Ugandan to learn how to read and write in English. And this Ham Mukasa was born in 1870 to Cesari's family, and at the age of 14, he became the king advisor, and he used to translate from English into Luganda for this king Mwanga, the one who ordered for the killing of the Ugandan martyrs. And this guy was supposed to be even among the Ugandan martyrs to be killed, but lucky enough, by the time they ordered for the killing of Ugandan martyrs, this guy was out of the palace of Uganda. So he got a chance to live. He died in 1956. Then here we have the guy known as G.L.P. Kington, the first Ugandan, the first European to learn how to read and write in English in Uganda, and is the one who translated some parts of the English Bible into Luganda, for example, St. Mark and John. Here we have what we call, this is a chimpanzee, and this chimpanzee is 99% human. Then this is a mountain gorilla, which is 98% human. These are found in mountainous areas. Those are the only we have in Uganda which are close to human. The reason, we are going to know the reason why this one, chimpanzee, is 99% human. And you're going to know what makes it to be 99 human. What differentiates it from other apes. But before that, here we have the lower jaw of a chimpanzee, the lower jaw and the upper jaw of a chimpanzee. These fossils were being discovered about 21 million years ago in the place known as Moroto by the people known as archaeologists. Uh, they use a radioactive method to discover these fossils. Then here we have the bones of a chimpanzee, and we are going to know the reason why chimpanzee is 99% human. When you look at these bones, they resemble for the human, and we are going to know the reason why do they resemble human. And one of the reason is chimpanzee, they experience adolescent stage. They are too close to human. For example, the female chimpanzee, they begin adolescent stage at the age of 8 to 15. Then males from 13 to 15. And they can live up to 70 years. For example, this one lived up to the age of 70 years. They can even learn new skills like using a sponge to drink water. Uh, they can even live as humans. They live in extended family, about 20, 200 relatives, and many others commons, and even they don't have tails like us humans. Then here we have the bones of uh, a mountain gorilla, and these are the bones of a mountain gorilla. These bones were being discovered in 2016 after the death of the other guy known as Ndahura. These bones were from Ndahura. These are the bones of the other skin I showed you there. The mountain gorilla, it fell from the tree, which was estimated 20 meters up. It broke the leg and even the chest and died. Died at the age of 28 in 2016, and they can live up to the age of 40. These gorillas can be found in big numbers in Windi and Mugahinga on the map of Uganda. That's where you can find them. Then the Chivale, the chimpanzees are found in Chivale Forest National Park in big numbers. Beginning from here, these are traditional musical instruments which they used by different tribes to entertain the king. This one in Uganda we call it endingid. It is under flatters or tube fiddles. Then this is the first local guitar. In Uganda we can call it endongo. You can see the Muganda man seated well playing it. Then these ones originated from Ethiopia. You can see Ethiopian ladies, they are playing it. Uh, when it came in Uganda, it began from Basoga. You can call it the Chimasa. We have very many musical instruments. When you're watching from Uganda, you can just identify your country, your tribe, where you from. This is called Adungu. Uh, Mainly it was played by the Acholi people, musical bowl. These ones acted as vibrators. They could place their musical instruments and vibrate well. This one was mainly played by the Baganda boys. I'm not talking about these musicians. The boys in Uganda or the Baganda people. Each hand produced different sound. They used to go in the garden you could find them playing those musical instruments. These are trumpets which originated from Egypt. You can see the Egyptian ladies playing it. They resemble to the trumpets of flauters. Then here we have flauters which are made from different threads. These one are made from clay, uh, hippo tooth, by the tassel, muddy, and very many other tribes. Then this one, it is called a thumb piano. Each string produces different sound, and this one we are tied on the hands during shaking, and they also use them as bells. They could tie them on the animal for easy identification to know where the animal is. You can hear it when it got lost. You can hear it when the bell is ringing. Then this one was used by the Gishu people. Gishu people are found in eastern Uganda, and this is their drum. It is made from clay soil, and these are people who circumcise, and their circumcision begins at the age of uh, 15 to begins at the age of 15, and they don't sterilize. They prepare here some herbal leaves known as amara, and they give to the candidate who is going to be circumcised to make him strong. And during circumcision, that candidate could not even blink the eye. Then here we have the drum, a royal drum, which was used by the Banyoro people during the crowning of a new king. During the crowning of a new king, the Banyoro, which are found in western Uganda. Then this one for the Waganda, they played these drums known as Engalavi to entertain the king. We have many houses. This one is for the Toro house. I've begun with the Toro house. Then they call it a house as Enju. Yeah, they call it Enju. And this is how they build their house. When you see it from outside, this is how they build their house. So let's go inside and know what is different from these people. How do they build their houses? So this was the inside part of this house. These people, they used to cook from inside. You can see. Then this was the bed, the room, the bedside for the parents, the room for the parents, and this is where they used to sleep. You can see the bed, how it was made. Oh, it was made from the wood. They didn't use any nail. Then this side's for the kids. Here for the girls, then here for the boys. And they used to drink what I can call these people, they are cattle keepers. They kept milk from their animals, and this one was to keep the harvested food. For example, millet, sorghum. We are out of the Batoro. Then this house you're seeing is for the Banyoro. This is how the Banyoro build their houses. They also call it NU. They call it NU. So we are going to know how they build it inside. This is called board. They used to play board during their leisure time. Then here, these are first sandals for the lady, known as in here in central Uganda we call it bukalabanda. Then this was a chair, and it was supposed to be for the only father or a man in the house. Then this was a bed. This was a room where the kids could sleep, and also where they kept their utensils, the things they used. They also had a grounding stone where they could grind their millet. They used to do cultural activities, for example, dancing, and these are the things they use. They used to love music. They could tie these things in their waists and they could play. They used to love musical instruments. These are called xylophones, and they used to play it. Yeah, that is how they used to play it. Those are xylophones. Then this is drums. Yeah, to entertain their king during leisure time. Yeah, that is the house for the Banyoro. We out of the house of the Banyoro. Now we are heading to the uh, to this house of the Bahima. The Bahima and the people from Ankore, they build their house somehow. It is the same, but this is how the Bahima build their houses. The Bahima from Western Uganda, the land where you can find beautiful ladies. The Bahima. This is how they build their houses. They are known as to be cattle keepers. They rear cattle, and these are goods where they keep their. It is called gourd, where they keep their milk. They call it a shabwe, a shabwe, and this was a room for the parents. You can see the sandals for the father in the house. This is where they slept. They used to sleep there, and the spear was behind the door. This was a spear for protection. Then they also had a stick. This stick played different roles for rearing cattle and even for protection. Then this one for the parent for the kids. This is where the kids used to sleep, and they also used to cook from inside. That is a charcoal stove. We are out of the uh now we are heading to the Ankole. This is how the Ankole people. The other one, they were cultivators. Then this one are hunters. We are in Ankole house. They also call it Nju. This is how they build their houses. This is a net for hunting, and this is the bed for the parents where they used to sleep. I told you these are the sandals known as Vukalavanda. Then this house is for Chigezi, for the Vachiga. We are going to know how they build their houses. Let's go inside and see how they build their houses. For this one, they were somehow uh, modernized. They had some privacy. You can see when you enter, there is a room for the kids where they used to sleep, and when you go continue, there is a corridor. There is a room for the parents, and here a room. This was a sitting room, then this room for the parents. I think you can see that this one, they were somehow modernized, or they had some privacy, not modernized, but they had some privacy. We are heading to these houses. These ones, they are found in western Uganda. Now we are heading to the eastern Uganda to see the houses which are found in eastern Uganda. We are going to begin with the house for the Basoga. Basoga. This is how the Basoga build their houses. This is the house for the Basoga. We are going to enter inside and see. This is the house for the Basoga. For them, they didn't have privacy. The parents could just sleep there, the kids there. They had meso board during their leisure time. They even cooked inside. I told you we are going to see some of the tools after the stone age to the iron age. This is the first axe. In Uganda, I call it embazi. The first axe after the stone age. This was the first axe to be introduced here in Uganda. And this is how the Basoga build their houses. We are out of the Basoga. Then we are heading to the Japadola. This is how the Japadola, they called it Oti. The local name for the house is called Oti. Then this is how they build their houses. We are going to enter inside and know how they build their house. They also didn't separate the inside part. The parents could just sleep there and the kids there. These are some of the tools they used. The first axe, this one acted as the first hoe. This was the first hoe made from wood. Then these are for alerting or calling the urgent meeting in the community. This one was tied on the cows and even on the hands during their functions. This is the first hall for the Teso people. They cooked also inside, and this is how they build their houses. I think you're enjoying Uganda, the Pearl of Africa. It's under Care Safaris Uganda, and if you want to explore more about Uganda, just contact us on +256 702 969374. We are on TikTok as Care Safaris Uganda, and even on Instagram Care Safaris Uganda, WhatsApp Care Safaris Uganda. We have a group known as Care Safaris Uganda, and even on Facebook as Care Safaris Uganda. Then we have here for the Bagishu, how the Bagishu build their houses. This Bagishu, they used to call it Inzo. Inzo. The Bagishu, they call it Inzo. We are going to see how they build their houses inside. They also didn't separate the inside part. They had no privacy, but as you know, these people, they love music. They love music so much. And during their ceremony, known as Embaru, they hold sticks. If the candidate who's going to be circumcised pretends to be fearing, can be beaten up to death. No jokes. And even they use these things they could tie on their hands, they could tie this bell like this, and it could make sound. Yeah, this is what they used to put on. They used to put on things like this during their when they are dancing. These things. Although some people think that this is witchcraft, no, this is culture. Then they used to put on, they used to put like they used to decorate the head with this. It is called engeye in their language. They put it on the head as a cape during their ceremony. These are the tools. You can find all the tools they used here, and this was their hoe. This is how they build their houses. This is how the Bagishu build their houses. We are out of the Bagishu. We are out of the Bagishu. We are heading to the Teso. Teso, they call it Entogo. Entogo. The house, they call it Entogo. Let's see how they build their houses. This is the inside part. This is where they used to cook. This is the grinding stone where they used to grind millet and even cassava to make cassava flour. And that is cassava. These are the sandals, the first sandals I told you, known as bukalavanda. This is they were hunters. This one was to trap the birds. Then this one for fishing, traditional methods of fishing. Then this was a room for the parents where they could sleep. Then this was a cave for the first cave for the chief in Teso region. It is here. We are out of the Teso house. There are very many houses. In Uganda, we have over 56 tribes. I can't tour them around here and I'll finish them. Let's end with the one which is found in the central Uganda, and it is for the Baganda, where you can find people who corroborate different culture, ceremonies, and many things, where we find the capital city of Uganda. Remember I told you Uganda was called Uganda. So let's see how the Baganda also build their houses. And all those are houses, but I can't tour them right now. There are very many, or over 56 houses. This is, we are touring for the Baganda. They called it a nyumba. And we are going to enter inside to see how these Baganda build their houses. Uganda house. This was Uganda's house, and this is how they build their houses. You can see it is somehow even different from other houses. They could make even AC. This one acted as the lamp. In Uganda, we call it a tala. This was a room for the kids and the parents. They separated only one room, but the room is large. The parents could just sleep there, and even the kids there. I told you this is under Care Safaris Uganda. Experts in adventure. If you want to tour anything about Uganda, you just contact us, or you reach us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and even the contact. You can contact us on +256 702 96 9374. That is the only contact we have. No one should contact you telling you that it's under Care Safaris Uganda. By the way, when you stand here, you can see the view, the beautiful Kampala. You can see the beautiful Kampala. You can see Kampala like you are in the middle of Kampala. Just visit Uganda and explore more. about the Uganda's culture, and even the reason why Uganda is called the Pearl of Africa. Thank you. Have remained as Jude. I work at the Ghana Museum and under Care Safaris Uganda.